Hello, students. Good morning, and I hope you all are doing well. I hope your family is doing well, and you all are studying and doing all the tasks that the teachers are telling you to do. So, students, as you can see on the screen, we are starting with Unit 5 called as Dream Jobs. So, as I told you, speaking skills, you will be discussing it with your family members, but still, I'll like to discuss it with you. So, the first one is work with a partner, discuss these questions. So, what would be your dream job and why? Okay, so here I think the answer is totally clear. It all depends on you, and you all can do one thing that you all can comment down in the comment section, and you all can tell me there what your dream is to be and why. And some people say there is no such thing as dream job because every job turns out to have advantages and disadvantages. Yes, every job has its advantages and disadvantages, and when you get one thing you have to sacrifice the other thing, so there are two sides for every coin. Yes, I agree with this. And what do you think? You can comment down in the comment section. Now, next is read the extract A to C from blogs given blogs by people who got their dream jobs. What do you think? Sorry, each job is. Okay, so here you have A to C. So A, B, and C. These are the blogs by the people. I don't know why this keeps happening. These are the blogs by the people. So you have to do what? You have to read it. Okay, I know y'all don't read it, y'all skip it, but you have to read it. I don't know why this keeps happening today. Okay, and yeah, what do you have to do? You have to read it. And what do you think about their job? What do you think what each job is? What do you think about each job? So what do you think means what do you feel? Are you interested? Do you like what that person is doing? Do you think it's exciting to be in that job? All these things you have to think. Okay, so there are A, B, C people. So the third one, a recent survey asked people what their dream job would be. Being a pilot was the most popular choice, and being an artist was the least popular. Rank the jobs in the box. Okay, so what they're asking you, that a recent survey was taken. A study was being conducted, and they came to know that the mostly people want to become pilots, and what people don't want to become, or the percentage of people, least percentage of people were the people who didn't want to, who wanted to be artists. So many people want to be pilots, but not many people want to be artists. So here I think I'm unable to understand whether the artist means a person who does art or a painting or art, or it means like artist, like acting, drama, and all these things. So I think it is both the things. There's no such exception. So I want y'all to do is, they want y'all to do what they want y'all to do is, in the box over here they have given what are the professions, and you have to rank them, like which is the most popular profession and which is the least popular profession. Okay, so y'all have to rank it. Okay, so y'all can rank it according to your imagination, what do you think. But then let me just see. uh, okay, so I think y'all can rank it by your perception, or how do you think. So if I say that Formula One driver, I think this is many people are not this. Okay, there are exceptional people or most talented people who are Formula One driver. Pilot. So I think the most popular in the box that's given is a doctor, I feel, and the least popular is Formula One driver. This is what I feel. Students, if you want to have a research on this, you can go to Google and research it. You'll get more information regarding the professions, okay? More detailed information. So students, we jump to question number 2. If you observe, there are blogs. Again, I'm going to question number 2. So what they have asked, that what is the first one? What do you think the first A1 is? Before I applied, I hadn't realized that getting on course would be so hard. All these things they have written, I'll not be reading it in detail. I want you all to read it, because if I read it, then you don't read it. I don't want that to happen. So I hope you all have guessed the answers. So the A1 is a pilot or a flight attendant. Okay. The B1 is, obviously you can make out from the attire that she's wearing, as a surgeon, and it is still exciting to see people getting better. Okay, she thinks like that. The C1, you can see that he is a writer, and yes, so he is a writer, he loves to write. So if you read about them, you get to know what professions they belong to. And you also tell me, is it any of these three, is any one of the job your dream job? If yes, then you can comment down in the comment section and tell me, right? Okay, now we come to the reading part, that is on the right hand side of your page number 34. So, oh god, I don't know what is happening today to the screen. I'm so sorry, students. Okay. Yeah, so now we come to the reading part. So you have to read the article on page number 35 quickly. So I hope your books are open. I don't hope, I am confirmed that your books are open, because without opening your books, you cannot do this. So go on page number 35, and in a box you'll have been provided an article, and you have to read the article. Don't look at the article, you have to read it for yourself. Okay, I know most of y'all don't love reading, but still you have to read it. Okay, this is what CAE is all about. Okay. Is the writer for or against trying to find a dream job? So you have to answer this question. So I am pausing the video here. Sorry, you will be pausing the video over here. What you're going to do, you're going to read the article that is on page number 35, and then you will resume the video, so that I'll have a provided discussion and question answer session with y'all. So I hope you'll have paused the video. So now students, that you all have resumed the video, let me answer the first question, or let me discuss it with you. Read the article, is a writer for or against trying to find a dream job? So I think the writer is for finding the dream job. He's not against finding a dream job. And the writer says, or the writer says that you can achieve your dream job. You should never give up. This is what we all tell. You should never give up, and you should find your dream job, right? Okay. Now, if you observe exam spot, this is very important. This is basically a tip given by CAE to y'all to score well in your examination. So what is given? I want you all to read it. A good reading skill. So you see, students, this all is based on reading skills today. A lot of listening and writing skills we have done. We do not do reading. Okay, reading and use of English is one part. Earlier it was different. Reading part was different in CAE, and use of English part was a different thing. But now they, as of 2015, they have clubbed both the things together. So a good reading skill is to scan a paragraph and to summarize the main idea expressed. This skill is especially used for paper 1. So if you observe in paper 1, that is reading and use of English, the last two part you find it very difficult. Okay, so part 7 and 8. So what you have to do, you have to scan means you just don't keep staring at the paragraph. Scanning means reading it quickly, and then in your head only summarizing what is given. It doesn't mean that you read it very slowly like you read a novel or a book. It shouldn't be like this. It means you read it very quickly, you gather all the all the important information, you process it in your brain and you kind of summarize, so that when you see the question, it clicks, the answer clicks to you immediately. This is a good reader. Okay, a good reader is not a reader who keeps reading one paragraph for 10 minutes and then also cannot answer the question. This, if you are doing like this, it means that you are not reading, you're not reading properly, you are not paying attention on your reading skills. What you're doing is just, you are just bored of reading. That is why from the beginning only it is said that reading is very very important, because in your growing up lives you'll have a lot of things that you'll have to read it, and you just can't keep sitting and reading. Do you read, the students, do you read the newspaper fully? No, we just kind of, how do? We just scan the headlines and then we remember what are the main things. This is what you have to do, right? Okay, I hope you all have understood this. Now we go to question number 2, that is choose the best summary of each paragraph. Okay, so the best summary for each paragraph. So which paragraph they are talking about? They are talking about this paragraph A, B, and C. So they are telling you to choose the best summary. So tell me, students, first of all, what is summary? Summary is a thing that you minimize. Okay, you see at the end of every chapter, many times in science you see this, at the end they give you summary, or at the end of, in SST also you see that after the whole lesson is done, they give you a summary in the end of the topic. It means that what they are doing is they are collecting all the important information, gathering it together and giving you the precise and to the point content of it. This is what is summary. Okay, so summary means a shortened but to the point explanation of what you have read earlier. Okay, and summary shouldn't be bigger than the lesson. Okay, summary means shortened. Okay, so two things, summary means shortened and to the point. Okay, anything that is shortened in 1 or 2 lines. If the lesson is very big, they shorten it to one paragraph, like 5 6 lines, but they make it a point that all the important things are fitting in that paragraph, right? So you can see paragraph A is so small. So okay, so small, it's just a one merely a paragraph. Okay, 5 6 7 lines. Over here you see the summary is very small. So remember, summary will be always small than the original content. Summary will not be big. Okay, it doesn't mean that you have a content of 10 pages and the summary is of 20 pages, then that is an essay, then that's not a summary. Okay, then that is something foolish. Okay, so you see they are just asking you which summary fits the best. So I want you all to do one thing. I want you all to pause the video over here, and I want you all to attempt paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and paragraph 3. I want you to attempt all these 3, and then we'll be discussing as soon as you resume the video. Okay? I hope you all have paused it, students, and I hope you all are understanding and you all are doing it little bit in this way. Okay. So as of now that you all have paused the video, let us discuss. So in paragraph 1 that you read, this is paragraph 1. Okay, the purple box is paragraph 1, and they've given three lines, 3 summaries. So which one fits the best, or which is the best summary? So luck plays an important part in finding your dream job. Is it? Or you need the right sort of personality to find your dream job? Or doing your dream job never feels like hard work? So I think it will be B. You need the right sort of personality to find your dream job. For example, just giving an example, this is the correct summary for a paragraph. Okay, so students, what is happening, like if I'll give you an example, don't feel bad, right? Anyone? So the example is, if suppose right kind of personality means even on your outer appearance also, I'm not talking that you should be very beautiful or extremely handsome to get the job. So here we are not talking about the show business. Here we are talking about overall, and your own nature and your own personality, what kind of a person you are, that also describes, that also go hand in hand in what kind of dream job you want. Okay, so for example, in army they have a set margins for your height. So if you don't fit that, you will never get into it. Are you understanding? So the same goes for show business. If you are not the type you want, they want you to be. For example, we don't talk about the actors or the artists, we talk about the models. If you all want a model, they have a height criteria of 4'5'8", 5'7" and above for girls, and 6 and above for boys. Okay, and then if you go for high brands, like the world class brands, and they have a different criteria. So if we don't fit in that, our personality doesn't fit in that, not the outer appearance, even the inner personality, then we are not eligible. Okay, this is one thing. So similarly, if we go, if I say a very introvert person cannot be a teacher, yes, the person, a very stage shy person cannot be a good teacher. Okay, a crowd shy person cannot be a good teacher. I am not saying that there are many people who are, exceptions are always there. I'm not pinpointing, but what I'm trying to say is that an open person who will be able to talk on any topic for hours, such person will be more adjustable in the profession of teacher, or in a profession of an educator. Okay, and likewise, a person whose personality is not that open, is not that of a very talkative personality, who wants to be in their own selves, they will make a good teacher, but then the personality will kind of not suit for the profession. Such people who are very shy, who are into themselves, you will find in the IT field, who don't want to talk to a lot of people, but then they are very much comfortable in their own cubicle, in their own space, right? Here I am not pinpointing anyone, so don't mind. Okay, I may be wrong, but I'm just giving an example. Okay, so now we go to paragraph 2. So paragraph 2, that is paragraph B. I hope this is what they are trying to say. No, no, students, I'm so sorry. Just a second, students. I am unable to understand whether it's paragraph 1, 2, 3 or A, B, C. Because on page number 35, they have given 1, 2, 3. But here they are, yeah, it's A, B, C. No, no, I'm right. It's okay. I was only confused. It's correct. Okay. So paragraph 2. So this is paragraph 2. So okay. So here you have three this. Science graduates stand a better chance of finding their dream job than other graduates. B. It has become increasingly difficult to find a dream job over the last decade. C. What you studied at university don't determine what kind of job you look for. Which one fits the best? Just a minute, right? I think it's not this one, students. I'm so sorry. Don't refer this, okay? I'm so sorry. Don't refer all the three. It is on page number, it's on page number 35 that they are talking. 1, 2, 3. Paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and paragraph 3. So if you go on page 35, you will see paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and paragraph 3. So actually they did not mention 4 and 5, so I was a bit confused. I'm so sorry. So if you read paragraph 1, you'll understand that you need the right personality to find your dream job, right? And paragraph 2, the summary that fits the best is C1. So what you study at university shouldn't determine what kind of job you look for. So it's never that what you study, only that job you'll stick to. For example, you see a lot of MBAs engineers coming into the teaching job. Okay, so actually they were trained to work in a corporate, but then they are, so it doesn't mean that you cannot do. So you see in the in film industry also nowadays are many engineers, many finance graduates coming from Oxford University also, like Soha Ali Khan and all these people. I think they are MBAs or something. I don't know exact qualification, but she's a Oxford graduate. So she has. It doesn't mean that. I think she worked in a bank also for many years. It doesn't mean that if you are this, you can't become an actress. So these people are actually examples. Like what you study in the university doesn't determine that you'll find exactly the same job. Okay, you'll not stick to. You can, if you have talent, if you have the mood to change, and you can adapt to situations very quickly, so you can have a change in your job also, as compared to what you have studied in your university, right? Now we come to paragraph 3. On page number 35 in that box, you have this paragraph 3. It starts like, of course, it is very tough time economically. So the thing that fits well over here, third one is A. So A is avoid comparing yourself to your contemporaries. So we shouldn't compare, we should always compare ourselves to our own selves. Okay? Now we come to the next one. So, write two sentences to summarize the two main ideas of the fourth paragraph. So, if you read the fourth paragraph, what they're trying to say is that you have to summarize two main ideas that are there in the fourth paragraph. So there might be two main ideas that you will summarize, and you can write it down over here also, or you can write it down on page number 35, the fourth paragraph. There is a little space after that, you can write it there also. Okay, so this you are going to do it on your own, because I want you all to read. Because I tell you the answer, then you all don't read. Okay. Okay, so I want you to pause here. And then, okay, I'll just discuss it with you. So, the suggested answer that I have for you is you need a plan. Okay, so the summary is like you need a plan. This is one thing that I come to know after I read it. And the next thing is find out as much as you can about the job. So once you're trying to apply the job, you should find out everything about that profession, so that once you, before entering, you're sure to take the challenges, or you make up your mind that you are not fit, or are you fit for that. Okay, yeah. So now we come to the fourth one. The fifth paragraph summarizes the key ideas from the whole text. Make notes of the key ideas. So we'll go to the paragraph only. I know you are really confused. Just we'll go to, this is that paragraph. So students, this is that. So this is the first paragraph, second, third. The fourth one, they told you to have two important ideas. So two important ideas from which you had to summarize the two ideas. And the next one is the fifth one, which you all have to do is what you all have to do for the for the fifth paragraph is that you have to summarize the fifth paragraph, and you have to take the key ideas from the whole text. So it is a key, it is a whole summarization of the whole paragraph. Okay, so the fifth paragraph is actually a summarization of the whole paragraph. Do you understand? And you have to just make keynotes. You have to make keynotes of the ideas. You have to make notes of the ideas, whatever ideas you'll find it. Students, now you come to the writing skills. You can, as you can see on the screen and in your book on page number 35, listen to the friends talking about a job advert. So advert over here means advertisement. It is a short form of advertisement. Another short form of advertisement, if you know, is just ad. This is another form of short form of advertisement. An advert is also a short form of advertisement. So you will listen. So students, as I had told you how to, as I had explained, I made a whole video on how to download the CD contents from Google. So if you have downloaded it, just comment down in the comment section and tell me that you all have downloaded, because I'm unable to understand whether you all have downloaded it. This is for your practice. It's not that I'll not be playing the audio. I'll be playing the audio obviously, but for your own practice, I want you all also to download the whole contents of CD1 and CD2, as I had given you instructions in the earlier videos. Okay, so I'll just play the audio for you. So students, as you can see on the screen, they write one, they have a CD marking, and then they write one. Where is it? They write one in the CD, and then they write 08. So I'll explain you what is that. So that is nothing but 1 means it's a content from CD1, and 08 means nothing but track 8, audio track 8, that is 81. So now you will be hearing the audio, and then I want you to hear it carefully. Hear it attentively, right students? So I'll be playing it for y'all. Audio track 8.
Track 8. Unit 5. Writing. Exercise 1. Look at this advert.
What is it?
They want someone to be the caretaker of the islands of the Great Barrier Reef. It's a completely new job.
What would you have to do?
Just live on a beautiful island for 6 months and watch the fish swim by.
I can't believe that's for real. It sounds like a holiday.
Well, there's more to it than that. The Great Barrier Reef is a World Heritage listed natural wonder, and the islands of the Great Barrier Reef have, it says here, an abundance of wildlife. So it's an important site for naturalists. This sounds just my thing. It says, the island caretaker will be based on Hamilton Island. That's the largest inhabited island in the region.
So if that's off the coast of Queensland, it'll be warm all year round. And then there'll be the blue skies, crystal clear waters, and what's the catch?
Well, no formal qualifications needed, but ideal candidate must be able to swim, snorkel, dive, sail. I can do all that. The successful applicant will receive a salary of 150,000 Australian dollars, not bad, for 6 months, and get to live rent-free in a 3-bedroom villa complete with pool. Wow.
What are you waiting for? Who do you have to write to?
Okay students, so as well have heard the audio, we'll go back to the, where were we? Yeah, we'll go back to this. Just give me a moment. Okay, so now you heard this audio track 8. Okay, so this track you heard, and then you saw two friends talking about a job advertisement, and one of them, they had to live on the Great Barrier Reef, and he had all the things as you heard right now. And then the first question is, what the job title, where is the job? What is the job title and where is the job? Very, very important. So what is it? What is the answer? So the job title is the caretaker of the islands is the job title, and the job is at the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, right? In Hamilton Islands, which is a part of the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. Okay, and what is the salary and other benefits? Okay, so we heard, I think you all also heard that very carefully, because it was really very exciting. So the salary is 150,000. Okay, so one thing students, I want to make it clear that in Western countries, or if you leave India, Pakistan, and other neighboring countries, the people in the West and other continents do not say lakhs. Okay, this lakh is a very Indian word, right? Indian, what we say, a figure. So this we see it in a few parts of Asia, especially the surrounding neighborhood countries of neighboring countries of India. But they don't have a specific word for lakh, so they say it as 150,000 or 100,000. Okay, they say it like that. So actually 150,000 is nothing but 1,50,000. So 1,50,000 dollars, Australian dollars. So if you convert that Australian dollars into American, it will be 103,000 American dollars. Or if you convert that in pounds, that is the British pounds, it will be approximately 70,000 British pounds. I think it's pounds, right? Yes. For 6 months, and the rent-free bedroom apartment villa, complete with pool. So this is what they're going to get. Okay. Now write a letter of job application of application for job. So you are going to do this in your composition book, right? Don't get confused. Your composition book is only your writing skills book. It's nothing else, right? So all this you will read it for yourself. So if you see, plan a letter of application saying paying attention to the organization of details, then write a first draft of the application. This is the first thing that you're going to do. Then with a partner, read each. So you don't have a partner, so you will read it for yourself. With a partner, read each other's first draft and then give feedback and clarity of purpose, paragraphing, and use of formal vocabulary. In the earlier unit, students, if you see, we had done so much on formal and informal that by now you all are, I think, well versed with it. Write the final draft in 220 to 300 words. So this is what you're going to do in your writing skills, or the same thing. These are the same book, composition book. Okay, only the composition book, last year it was called writing skills book, this year it's called composition book. Okay, no need to get confused, right? Okay, so this is what you are going to do. Okay, I want you all to do this, but I'm not burdening you. You all will be able to do it by your own self, right? You all have to do it. Now we come to exam spot. So we have, you may be asked to write a formal letter in the writing test. You know, you are always asked to write a formal letter in your writing test. Use appropriate greeting and ending. This is very important. Make sure that the style is consistent and the purpose is clear. So you should not beat around the bush. You have to write for this post, but inside you feel no, inside you feel no, I am applicable for that post also. So be clear, like this post or that post. This is just, I'm giving you an example, right? Okay. Next, consider the effect of the letter will have on the reader. So you have to read it again and again, your letter, and you have to imagine like this, that if this letter comes to me, my letter only, imagine that if it comes to me, how will I feel? So when you read your own letter, do not read as if you are reading it. Read from the perspective of the person whom you will send it. Suppose you're sending that letter to the manager, okay, or to the CEO. Just for an example, I'm giving you. So imagine that you are a CEO and then read it from the CEO's perspective. Then you'll understand, yes, whatever I've written, is it accurate or no? Will that person in the place of authority, will he or she like my letter, or will consider me as just a person with not so well uh, you know not a very well educated person. Okay, so you have to think that way, change your perception, and then read your own letter. This is what I want to tell you. Next, we go to vocabulary, students. This is on page number 36. So, where is the vocabulary? I think it's here. Yes. So, open page number 36, students. And I'll not remind you again and again. You all are not small kids that you have to use sharpened pencil. No blunt pencil in your CAE book or your grammar gear book, right? Now, on the top only we have vocabulary spot. So, connotation is a feeling or mood suggested by a particular word. For example, in the recording, you heard an abundance of wildlife. The word abundance has a positive connotation, suggesting that it's good thing to have so much wildlife. If you say the area was swarming with insects, swarming has a negative connotation, suggesting you didn't like the fact that there were so many insects. So connotations over here, students, means that the feeling of the word. So here abundance means it gives a positive feeling, right? Okay, but then the word swarming gives you a creepy feeling. It creeps you out. It doesn't give you a positive feeling. It feels like, oh, it's something, very swarmy, very very disgusting, like that, right? So connotation is a thing that has a specific mood or feeling. Every word has a specific mood or feeling. Okay, so now the first one, when applying for a job, it is important to present yourself in positive terms. Obviously, you cannot present yourself in a negative way, because that will have a negative effect on the reader. Okay, always you have to represent yourself in a positive way. So make these sentences more positive. My only experience is of working in sales. I have specialized in working in sales. Okay, so you have to make all these sentences more positive. Okay, this is what you have to do, right? So I want you all to pause the video here, try to use positive words, try to use words that are impressive, that are positive. When you read it, they give you a good vibe. Okay, so I want you to pause the video here and try first, second, third, fourth, fifth for yourself, and then we'll discuss after you try it. So students, as you all have resumed the video after pausing. So the first one, I did a first aid course and I think I've got the certificate somewhere. If you say like this, who is going to give you a job? You only think. That means you are not sure. Firstly, in a job, you should be very confident. Yes, I have received the certificate and I am a certified person in a first aid. Okay. So if you say like this, that gives a very positive and a confident. The person who is interviewing you feels like you are confident. But you just say, oh no, I think I've done, I think I've received. No, then that's a very bad impression. So, possible answers are, I have successfully completed a first aid course. Second, I speak English more or less. Now, if you say this, if you go to a multinational company and you just say in an interview like this, like, I think I speak English, more or less I speak. I think the person will be like, why should I hire you, right? No confidence. More or less means you can't speak English, or you are not confident enough to speak English. So you have to say it in another way, like, I can speak English fluently. Okay, so this will give the interviewer a good impression, right? Okay, thank you for inviting me to an interview. I might be able to attend one soon. I might be able to attend. It means you're giving an attitude to the interviewer. You're not serious about the job. You're like, yeah, I'll do it. So if I hire that person, am I sure that that person will be consistent when he is in the job totally? No. That gives a very bad impression. So the sentence should be like, I'm able to attend an interview at your earliest convenience. Okay. Next one. I I don't mind working shifts. So here you don't mind working. So are they asking you? Are they asking you your opinion? I think in any job they don't ask you. You're like, how are you comfortable? They just tell you that this is what you have to do. Yeah, they do ask your convenience also many times, but over here when you are applying for the job, it's not how you feel. It's like who is the interviewer, what is the organization, depends on all these things. So it should always be, I am willing to work shifts. You should show your willingness. Yeah, I can, I might, I'm not sure. If you say all this, nobody will hire that person. Okay, I'm an adequate communicator. This is something so negative to say. I'm an adequate communicator. It means that person is not very good in communication skills. The communication skills is very weak. Suppose I hire a person whose communication skills are weak. You think that person will be able to deal with other people, to deal with the colleagues, to deal with the people, to deal with the guests, to deal with the authorities? If the communication skills are not strong, I don't think I'll hire such person. So you have to use a positive word for that, and the positive sentence is, I have excellent communication skills. You know what, sometimes confidence and all works. So if you are not confident enough inside, if you are even lacking little bit, but your confidence, you show your confidence, it means that you can somewhere cope up with the situation, right? Okay, I hope it's clear. Okay. Students, now we come to question number 2. It's work with a partner. Choose the best option in these sentences from a job advert. Advert means advertisement. So you have to work with a partner and you have to choose the best options in these sentences. So we are looking for a wise and expert experienced individual. So how will you say it? Are we looking for a wise person or are we looking for an experienced individual? How will you say it in a job advertisement? If you want to write a job advertisement, will you say you want a wise person or will you say you want an experienced individual? What will you say, students? I think you will say experience. Okay, so wise is a person who can make good judgments. Okay, so if I have 2 3 things in front of me and I make a good judgment of it, I make a good decision, not a decision but I have that foreseeing sight because of my old age or because of my experience, that is called as being wise. Okay, you use your lifelong, always old people are wise. We say na, he is so wise. Wise means not intelligent. Yes, intelligence is there, but they have a lot of so much of life experiences, and age doesn't matter in being wise. So that they know what the next step is going to be. They have the knowledge of, they become the wisdom is opened. They become enlightened. That is the meaning of wise. But what will I do with a wise person? Okay, suppose the person is very wise and I hire that person, but the person is not a good problem solver, a good communicator. What is the use of being wise? So I don't think I'll hire a wise person. I'll hire an experience. So this is the correct one. Okay. Second one. Who is able to work under pressure and face challenges or problems? So challenges or problems, which word should I use? I think challenges. Challenges means there's something positive in it. I want to face challenges. I'll challenge. Okay. But problem is like, when you say problem is are of so many types. So problem gives a negative vibe. So challenges, okay? You'll use challenges. Next, you will be responsible for a new or novel sales team. So new. So we have new. So we'll say new. Why we won't say novel? Because novel means something that is new and original, and that is not seen before. Anything that is new and original and that is not seen before. Novel word is rarely used for specific situations of specific occasions. Something that is very exceptional or extraordinary. But for sales, why will I use novel? Obviously, when there is something like sales or there's something like sales team, obviously things are already watched and seen by the public before, right? So I'll not use novel, I'll use new. Fourth one, competitive sorry, fourth one we'll use competitive. Just let me read the sentence. We can offer the successful candidate an aggressive or competitive what is aggressive? Aggressive is like, aggressive means like they are going to fill you with money or what, with aggression. I don't think like that is a positive connotation. It does not have a positive. Aggressive means anger. When I say that person is so aggressive, it doesn't give a positive meaning. It means that person is very angry, short tempered or something like that. So aggressive salary means nobody will come and do job, right? If I tell I'll give you aggressive salary, okay, the person will run away. But if I say competitive, it means like there's a negotiation, there's this scope of be challenging, and then all these things, right? So we'll see this. Competitive means an overall thing, right? Competitive doesn't mean one thing. Next, and flexible, easygoing work time. Easy going, my god, if you say I have a easy going work time, it means that I can come to the office and then at that time also I can go. Suppose I come at 8 o'clock to the office, just giving an example, and 8:05 I go home. So this is easy going, right? This is uh, something very easy going. Like जब मेरा मन हुआ तब मैं आ सकती हूँ और जा भी सकती हूँ. This is something like that. Easy going is gives a very bad impression. It means that is it a office or a garden? What is the organization? This feels like that. But if you say flexible, it means they kind of consider your situations also, and they sometimes they are too relaxed, but then it's like something to relax to be appropriate in a business related environment. Okay, relaxed in a controlled manner, not like relaxed means I can come at my timing is 8 but I come at 10. Like that is not that type of relaxed. In a business environment or in your organization, if your timing is 9 to 5, it means in that particular zone you are giving a little relaxed timing. You can come like 5 minutes late also, no problem. You can go a little early as the environment demands. This is what it relax means, right? Okay. So now we come to question number 3. In academic situations, people often use more formal versions of a word. Example, collaborate instead of work with. What is more formal equivalent? What is the more formal equivalent of 1 out of 10? 1 to 10, okay? So formal means is this words, formal version will be this, okay? So for example, the formal version of work with is collaborate. Are you understanding? This is what we have to see. So question 3, we'll discuss it. So rule out, okay? So more formal version of rule out is eliminate. Okay, more formal version of rule out is eliminate. To be over, formal version is exceed the word limit. Third one, money can be said as funds. The formal way of saying money is funds. uh, the person who had the job before me, okay, the person who had the job before me is my preceder, is my preceder. and the one who will have after me, I mean, I don't think anyone will have after me. Don't think like that. But in kings and queens, they had the preceders. Suppose there's a king, his father, the king's father, was the preceder. That means he was the king before that original present king. And if that present king has a son or a daughter, then that who will be the king after that present king's death will be the successor. Okay, so it's a preceder and a successor, right? Okay, then we have so. Fifth one, so. The formula of fifth one is therefore. So I said this, so I said that. No, therefore I had to say this, okay, like that. Sixth one, load. What is this load? It's too, it is too informal, okay? So load is nothing but to install. So I load a computer game? No, I installed a computer program, okay? Okay, so seventh one, late. So you are the work that was submitted to you was late. No, the work that was, or the project that was submitted to you is being delayed. Okay. Sorry. Eighth one, do again. You have to do this work again. You can't say like this when you're in work or academic environment. So you'll say repeat. What will you say? Repeat. Okay. You have to repeat the work. Next, doesn't work. This computer doesn't work. Okay. No, this computer is out of order. You'll say like this. And this, and that, and that, and this. All this. For and, you have the formal word in addition. Okay. I hope it's clear to you, students. I hope you are understanding whatever I'm teaching you. Students, will do one thing. I think after this page, there's one more page for y'all, page number 37. And then there is unit 1 to 5 revision. Unit 1 to 5 revision I'll be taking later, but first I'll be completing the 6th lesson first, right? So it's already been 52 minutes. So students, the right hand side of page number 36, that is this whole side, I'll be discussing it with you in another period, and the whole thing I'll be discussing it in another period. The time is too much now. So I'll stop here. I hope you all had enjoyed the video, and I hope you all are learning, writing, and doing all the tasks that I'm telling you. And I hope you all are uploading it also. I had checked a few this drives, but I did not find anything uploaded on that. Please make sure, students, that you upload it, and make sure when you are clicking the photos, it should be in JPG, okay, and it should be scanned, okay. You don't send raw images, just scan it. Inside the phone you'll have inbuilt scanner also, if you check, okay. Inbuilt scanner is there, so please scan it and send, otherwise it becomes really difficult for us to scan the whole thing again and then do the thing checking and all. So please do not forget to upload it in the drive. We'll meet, students, in the next video. Till then, take a good care of yourself. Thank you, students.